YouTube, what's poppin'? Today we're looking at the worst periods to be alive in history. Let's see what they talking about, man.
There have been moments in Earth's history where being alive was almost impossible. Periods where the planet turned against everything on it and survival became the most important part. These are the five worst times to have been alive on Earth, starting with the least terrible and ending with the one that almost ended.
Number five, let's get it.
Number 5, the Ice Age, 20,000 years ago. If you were a human being during the last glacial maximum, the planet looked nothing like it does today. Ice sheets 2 miles thick covered most of North America and Northern Europe. Global temperatures were about 6 degrees Celsius colder than today, and the sea level was so low that you could walk from Russia to Alaska without getting your feet wet.
Was that cold, really? See, I'm gonna be honest with you. I would have to put this in the top three. Yeah, the Ice Age area, top 3, because I don't do well with cold temperatures, man. It ain't never been me. Frigid temperatures out there in the cold, surviving with animals and building shelter and just trying to pick up women. No. I can't do it, man. I can't do it. Like, it's snow out here. Like, I ain't going outside. That's just how I feel, man. So I could only imagine surviving in this era. I can't do it.
The planet was either frozen or drying out because the ice locked up so much water that rainfall dropped everywhere. Your daily goal was to survive. You lived in a group of maybe 30 to 50 people, and you wore animal hides stitched together with bone needles, and your home was either a cave or a shelter made from mammoth bones and skins. Food meant hunting animals that were actively trying to kill you. Woolly mammoths weighed around 6 tons. Cave lions were bigger than any lion.
Man, so not only do I gotta deal with the cold temperatures, but I gotta deal with woolly mammoths, cave lions. What else? I'm pretty sure some more exotic, dangerous animals I gotta deal with in the wild. Come on, I couldn't do it.
Today, short-faced bears stood over...
And bears too? Oh no. And plus I gotta fight them. You gotta think, back then it wasn't no guns, no grenade bombs, none of that, man. Nah, you gotta fight them with bow and arrows, with sticks and stones. Come on, now be for real with your fists. Come, be serious, man. Could you survive back in that era? No, Sirski. This is why I say this is top 3. Really top 2. But I'm going to say top 3 because I don't really know what the rest of the eras consist of. So top 3. Yeah, man.
3 meters tall on their hind legs and could outrun you on open ground. Cave hyenas hunted in packs, and you were going after these things with sharpened sticks and rocks because, unfortunately, that's all you had. But the winter was the real killer. In Northern Europe and Asia, temperatures regularly dropped below minus 30 degrees Celsius. The sun was up for maybe 6 hours a day if you were lucky. Finding enough calories to keep your body warm meant eating roughly 3,000 to 4,000 calories daily, which is pretty difficult when the most of the landscape is frozen and the animals you need to eat are better hunters than you are. If the predators didn't get you, infection probably would. A cut from a flint tool, a broken bone from a fall, a bite from something you were trying to eat, any of these could kill you because antibiotics wouldn't exist for another 19,900 years. So your life expectancy was somewhere around 30 to 35 years, and most people weren't that lucky. But at least humans survived this. They adapted, invented better tools, mastered fire, and eventually the ice melted and the world warmed up. The ice...
Hey man, that's what it's about. And this is why I really thank my ancestors, the ones before me, because truth be told, without them, we wouldn't even be alive, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. If they didn't survive that era, you know, those tough times, you know what I'm saying, without technology, gotta remember that too. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like those tough times, those tough eras, without them, we wouldn't be alive and we wouldn't be able to have it as easy as we do now. You know, there's struggles and things that we go through, but it was nowhere compared to those times back in. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta applaud them for real, boy, because they really like rare, one of one, and really tough and really strong, really determined. really determined, man. You gotta adapt. It's one thing I learned about this video. Adaptability. Yeah, man, that's the word of the day. Adaptability. Yeah, man.
Age was
Had to say it
brutal,
twice for
but
the
it is
people in the back.
nothing compared to everything else on this list. At
Alright,
number
let's see what's
4,
next.
the late Jurassic, 150 million years ago. Forget about being human for this one because we didn't exist yet. You're a small mammal, maybe the size of a little shrew, living in a world that was not built for you. The late Jurassic was the golden age of dinosaurs, and everything was massive. The average temperature was around 20 degrees Celsius globally, there was no ice anywhere on the planet, and the continents were arranged in ways that would make a modern map completely useless. North America alone had over 40 known dinosaur species living at the same time. Allosaurus, the dominant predator, weighed around 1.7 tons and accounted for 75% of all carnivore fossils found in the Morrison Formation. But Allosaurus wasn't even the biggest predator around. Saurophaganax weighed up to 5 tons. Torbosaurus weighed around 4. And there were at least 10 different species.
I want to know, why do they give these dinosaurs these long, weird names? Staganax, what else? Just these tough words. Like, come on, just keep it simple, bro. Like the T-Rex, we all know about the T-Rex. That's easy to pronounce. Daganax. Come on, man. Be for real, bro. Ain't nobody about to say that. Oh, there go a Daganax. I can't even pronounce the word, bro. It's pointless.
Theropod predators sharing the same ecosystem that could eat you in seconds. And the herbivores were no safer to be around either. Sauropods like Brachiosaurus and Diplodocus weighed around 13 to 70 tons and could step on you the way you'd step on an ant. But the droughts made things even worse. The late Jurassic experienced severe dry seasons where water sources shrank and every animal in the ecosystem crowded around whatever was left. Fossil evidence from these drought periods shows extreme levels of cannibalism among theropods, predators attacking other predators, and scavenging on a scale that turned watering holes into killing grounds. Mammals lived in the shadow of animals that could crush them by accident, waiting for a chance that wouldn't come until an asteroid cleared the entire board.
Yo, just imagine if the asteroid never collided planet Earth and humans was alive. Yo, could you really imagine though having a pet dinosaur? Oh man, imagine pulling up. Say you got a first date, right? That you about to go see a chick, and you pull up on a dinosaur, man. Your pet dinosaur. Yeah, that would be phenomenal. That would be extravagant. You know what I'm saying? That would be outstanding. I just couldn't imagine that, a pet dinosaur back then. Cause you know we got pet snakes, pet lions, pet jaguars, we got dogs, but a pet dinosaur? Come on, man. I'm in another league at that point. The only thing I really worry about though is my own pet could eat me though. That's the only thing I'd be scared about. Or stomp on me, you know what I'm saying? Accidentally kill me. But other than that, a pet dinosaur, I'm kind of intrigued. Yeah, man.
Number 3, the End Cretaceous, 66 million years ago. This is the one that everyone knows about, but most people don't understand how bad it actually was. An asteroid roughly 12 kilometers wide hit the Yucatan Peninsula at around 20 kilometers per second. The energy released was billions of times more powerful than any nuclear weapon ever built. If you were anywhere within about 1,500 kilometers of the impact, you were dead immediately. The shockwave flattened everything. Beyond that radius, things didn't get that much better. They just got slower. The impact launched billions of tons of rock and dust into the atmosphere, which blocked sunlight globally for years. Then, the sulfur from vaporized rock mixed with water vapor came down as acid rain that poisoned water sources across entire continents. The food chain collapsed from the bottom up. Plants couldn't photosynthesize without sunlight, so they all just died. Herbivores starved because the plants were gone, and the predators followed. And the oceans weren't really any better. The acid rain and temperature changes killed phytoplankton, which is the base of the entire marine food web. Wildfires spread across multiple continents in the days following the impact, triggered by superheated debris raining back down through the atmosphere.
What would be the point of creating a planet if it's just gonna get destroyed? Like what? No plants, no animal, no human. Like what's the point? What's the point? That don't really make sense to me though. I mean, I guess this one of the worst periods, of course, because it was nothing alive. Like, come on now.
The smoke from those fires added to the dust that was already blocking the sun. For months after the impact, the sky was essentially just black. The temperature swings were so extreme that regions went from tropical to near freezing in weeks, and anything that couldn't burrow underground or survive underwater had almost no chance. About 75% of all species on Earth went extinct, including non-avian dinosaur, every pterosaur, every marine reptile, and most of the large animals that had dominated the planet for over 100 million years.
So it was animals that did survive though. Okay, but wow. A lot of them got extinct. Exterminated. Okay.
The animals that survived were mostly small because they could burrow underground, eat dead organic matter, or go longer periods without food. Mammals, birds, crocodilians, turtles, small lizards, and insects, they made it through. But the recovery took millions of years, and for the species that were alive during the actual impact and its aftermath, every single day was a question of whether there would be anything left to eat the next day. At number 2, the Toba supervolcano, 74,000 years ago. This one is specifically about humans, and it's the closest our species ever came to extinction. Around 74,000 years ago, the Toba supervolcano in what is now Indonesia erupted with a force that makes every other volcanic eruption in human history look like a campfire. It launched over 2,800 cubic kilometers of material into the atmosphere, which is roughly enough to bury the entire United States under a layer of ash. The eruption triggered a volcanic winter that lasted somewhere between 6 and 10 years. Global temperatures dropped by as much as 15 degrees Celsius. And same as with the asteroid, the sunlight was blocked, which killed plants and made predators starve. But unlike 66 million years ago, this time we were now living through it. We were already a relatively small population of early Homo sapiens living in Africa and possibly parts of Asia, and we got hit with the worst climate crisis any human had ever faced. The total human population dropped to somewhere between 3,000 and 10,000 individuals, trying to survive in a world where the sun barely came through and there was nothing to eat.
3,000 population, bro? That's ridiculous. A lot of people, some people live in small towns and rural areas, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like maybe 100 people, you know what I'm saying, in the vicinity. But 3,000 in total, that's ridiculous, bro. I couldn't imagine that. I'm gonna be honest with you. And the sun barely came out. I don't know about y'all, but like when I don't like see the sun or just even be around it, my mood and just how I feel, I don't know, it should be going downhill. You get what I'm saying? Like I don't feel the same compared to when I am aligned with the sun and I visually see it. You get what I'm saying? Spend time with it. It just give me energy. If I don't see the sun, I don't get energy. Kind of like, plants. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. No plants around either. Oh, man.
Every single person alive today is descended.
I never heard, my bad for keep up, but I never heard about this like in school, even though this was in Indonesia. They didn't really taught us about this though, man. I feel like this is a worldly thing that we all should know. We all should know about the volcano.
From that tiny group of survivors, including you. The genetic bottleneck is so tight that humans have less genetic diversity than most primate species, and Toba is the leading explanation for why. If you were alive during those years, you spent your entire existence searching for whatever you could find in a dying landscape while your group got smaller and smaller every season. Hunting was nearly impossible because the animals you depended on were starving too, and many of them simply died out in your area. You ate shellfish, roots, insects, whatever was left on the coastlines that still had any life to them at all. The fact that anyone survived is genuinely difficult to explain, and some researchers think it all came down to a handful of coastal populations in southern Africa that could still access marine food sources when everything inland was gone. And at number 1, the Permian extinction, 252 million years ago. This is the
number one.
The worst thing that has ever happened to life on Earth. Scientists call it the Great Dying, and the name is not dramatic enough for what actually happened. 252 million years ago, a volcanic system in what is now Siberia, known as the Siberian Traps, started erupting. And it wasn't a single volcano. It was a volcanic province the size of Western Europe that poured lava across millions of square kilometers for roughly a million years. The eruptions released an estimated 100,000 billion metric tons of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, along with massive amounts of sulfur dioxide, methane, and other gases that turned the planet into something barely recognizable. Global temperatures rose by about 10 degrees Celsius. The oceans warmed up so much they couldn't hold dissolved oxygen anymore, turning vast stretches of deep water into dead zones. Hydrogen sulfide, a gas that is toxic to most life, started bubbling up from these oxygen-starved oceans.
See, this kind of got me scared a little bit. Like, what if this could happen again in my era? You get what I'm saying? While I'm breathing. This could be a possibility. At any given moment, we could go through this. Volcano or this or just anything, bro. Asteroid, anything. And just to think, like, these stories was passed down to us from millions, billions years ago. Wow. Or maybe they just, use technology and equipment to learn about these things. But still, though, it's crazy, though.
Into the atmosphere. The ozone layer was damaged by the chemical reactions, allowing increased ultraviolet radiation to reach the surface, which mutated plant spores and killed vegetation across entire continents. The numbers are almost impossible to process. About 96% of all marine species disappeared. 70% of terrestrial vertebrates went extinct. Even insects, which had survived every other mass extinction in Earth's history, lost more than half of their families. The entire ecosystem didn't just collapse, it ceased to exist. Coral reefs vanished completely and didn't recover for 10 million years. Forests disappeared from the tropics and were replaced by fungal blooms feeding on the dead wood. If you were alive during the Permian extinction, here's what your world would have looked like. The air was hot, thick with CO2, and in coastal areas, poisonous from hydrogen sulfide seeping out of the ocean. The sky had a strange greenish tint from all the gas, and the smell was unbearable. The water was warm and oxygen-pleated, killing everything that couldn't surface to breathe. Rivers and lakes turned stagnant and toxic. Acid rain stripped vegetation from the land until entire landscapes were just bare rock and mud. The soil eroded into the landscape in massive quantities, further smothering marine life. The temperatures were so extreme that in equatorial regions, nothing complex could survive on land at all, with surface temperatures reaching over 50 degrees Celsius in some areas, and the only habitable zones were pushed toward the poles, which had gone from frozen to temperate. The recovery took somewhere between 5 and 10 million years. For context, the entire existence of the genus Homo, from the earliest human ancestor to you watching this right now, spans about 2.8 million years. The Earth was essentially broken for at least twice as long as humans have existed. Life did eventually come back, and the survivors went on to become the ancestors of dinosaurs, mammals, and everything else that followed. But for those millions of years during and after the Great Dying, the planet was as close to sterile as it has ever been since life first appeared over 3 billion years ago. These were the 5 different ways the planet tried to end everything on it, but somehow, every single time, something survived long enough for you to be here watching this.
Hey man, that just let me know right then and there. Like we supposed to be here. If the world really wanted to end, it would end. It would end. Trust. Just based on certain things that I've been hearing in this video, bro, it could definitely end any given moment. If the earth really wanted to, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, I learned a lot through this video. Hopefully y'all did too. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, you gotta thank the ancestors and the people before us and the things before us, because hey man, without them, where would we be? Where would we be? What? Hey man, just forget about it. But look though, it's your boy Scotty Love. I want to appreciate everybody for tuning in. And last but not least, I'm gone.